Pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna let everybody get really settled in. Make sure you're connected to audio, your screen is working. Enjoy our music and welcome to our house, and we'll get started in a few minutes.
And you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do, sometimes you gotta stay in. And you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house. Baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the bag. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me, it's my home, draining the sand. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. We got signs, two got so it ain't no holding back. Another, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go around. Welcome to my house. Ain't gotta go out, 'cause what? Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house.
All right, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad you are here. Hope you enjoyed our music to get you started, get you excited. My name is Mary Lou Huerta. It is a pleasure to be with you this evening. Welcome to our presentation. I welcome you from my home. Like I said, my name is Mary Lou. I will be your presenter this evening. I work in enrollment services. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about me as we go through this evening's presentation, but I want to thank you all for joining us. Wish we were definitely in person and I could see all these beautiful faces, but hey, this works. I definitely want to also highlight and introduce some very important folks that are all here with us. You know, these presentations, all the work we do is definitely a team effort and not something that just one or two people can do on their own. So I'm going to highlight some people that are here with us today. Today we have Christy Janteria. She is joining us from the Enrollment Services team. We also have Liz Stein here from Enrollment Services. Along with us, we have Kiko Almanza. He is also from the Enrollment Services team, and our wonderful director, Vanessa Pelton. We also have someone from our Transfer Academy here to give you a presentation, to answer some questions, making sure you all are getting connected. We have Marisol with us, but most importantly, because really this is the purpose and the reason that we do this work, is we have two current college students, two SBCC students. They are our outreach assistants. I'm going to give them a moment to introduce themselves, but with us today, we have Michaela and Armand. So Michaela and Armand, I'm going to go ahead and go. Michaela, if you want to go first, just give a little quick introduction about who you are. And thank you both for being here with us.
Thank you, Mary Lou. Hi, I'm Michaela, and I'm originally from the Bay Area. My current major is going between communications and journalism. I'm still kind of in the middle trying to decide. I'm hopefully going to transfer to UCSB next year. And yeah, I love SBCC. It's a great campus with amazing teachers, and I'm super glad I chose to come.
Hey guys, my name is Armand Labashi. I'm from San Diego, California, which is a little bit down south. I'm a third year, about to transfer to UCSB as a bio major. And I did this through the TAG program, which is a program that helps like community college students earn like a GPA, and you can have like a guaranteed admission, and that'll be addressed some point in this presentation. But yeah, I've had an awesome experience here, and I hope everyone has the opportunity I got here at SBCC.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Michaela and Armand. You guys are both amazing. Thank you for joining us. Folks, I want to remind you that we will be doing Q&A. If you have questions that you want to really get the student perspective, please take this opportunity to ask these questions. So just some brief housekeeping is please make sure that you are entering questions in the Q&A. We have a team of staff that's going to be answering some of these questions directly to you using the Q&A, but some of these questions we're going to wait and ask them at the very end to make sure that everybody's getting this important information, because you might ask a question, but another friend in another room in another home might also have a similar question. So please make sure you are using the Q&A. We're going to go ahead and get started. And once again, thank you so much for being here today. So today we're going to cover information, teach you all a little more about Santa Barbara City College, where really you can reach your dream school by starting your journey at Santa Barbara City College. So let's go. So today we're going to cover the what. What is Santa Barbara City College? What makes our campus so unique and so important? And really a place why you should be there. We're going to cover why, what programs, what services do we offer? Why should you come to us, right? And start your educational journey here. And how are you going to get there, right? Because I'm sure many of you have those questions. How do I apply? And how do I register for classes? And how do I pick my classes? We're going to cover all of that today. And when, most importantly, when should you be doing these things, right? When are important dates? We definitely want to get you connected. We want to get you started. So we're going to cover all of that useful information today. So what is Santa Barbara City College? We are one of 116 community colleges in the state of California. That's right. If you did not know that, now you know it. There are 116 community colleges in the state. Now, when I first saw that number, I was extremely impressed. I had no idea there was that many community colleges, but we are one of the best in the nation. So definitely keep that in mind. At SBCC, you can, we have degrees, and you can major in these degrees from associate's degrees to certificate programs. We also have some of the most amazing transfer programs. And if you are in that place of your life, or maybe a parent, a friend, and you want to take some additional courses for non-credit or just as professional development, we do have two additional campuses connected to Santa Barbara City College. These are going to be our non-credit campuses. So they're definitely, we really do try to provide as many opportunities and settings for students, whether they are working on an associate's degree, a certificate, a transfer program, or whether they're just, wanting to enrich their life a little more and learn more. Why SBCC? First, it's going to be a low-cost community college. So you're going to get high-quality education, hands-on education. However, you're getting it at a low cost, right? So at Santa Barbara City College, our students can anticipate in paying $46 per unit. And that's going to be for California residents. Now, we do also have out-of-state students. We also have international students. For our non-resident students, you can anticipate in paying about are about $319 per unit. So definitely you want to keep those things in mind. In addition, we do have student fees that are required, but there are some great perks to those student fees. So student fees will range anywhere about $65 per semester. However, that's going to cover, your student fee, so your activity fee in that, as well as your bus pass. So yes, our SBCC students all get free transportation, free public transportation. They can use our MTD buses as soon as the semester begins until it ends. So it's a huge perk, a huge benefit, especially for students who are out of the area, may not have their own transportation, their own vehicle. It's a great resource to be able to have. And, it's all connected to your student account. So makes it super easy. We also have our financial aid office where you can really go in, get additional help and support with obtaining, our internal scholarships, out of area scholarships, but really where you're going to get additional support with your financial aid application, whether it's your FAFSA or your DREAM Act. And then for our local students, and I do want to clarify, when I say local students, these are going to be students that are graduating from our local high schools from Carpinteria all the way to the Gaviota Coast, right? So if our students, or if you are graduating from any one of those or local schools, whether it's a private school or you're being homeschooled, but you fall within that area, you are considered a local student. You're a promised student, but it's very, very specific. So if you're an out of area student, you will not be qualifying for the promise. But if you are a promise student, want to remind you again that the promise is going to cover your tuition, your required costs, your books for the first 2 years at City College. And that's an amazing program, really made to provide and help support our local students. At SBCC, we also offer over 80 academic majors. So I know that may seem like a lot. There's a lot of majors out there. Oftentimes students may not know exactly what they want to do or major in right when they get started at City College, and that's totally okay. But we're going to have a major for you. And if not, guess what? You're going to work with some amazing counselors, some academic counselors. They're really going to help guide you and make sure that, you're getting the support and that you're finding that career, that academic goal to help you complete your journey at City College. Some of our top 5 majors that you can find at CC are going to be business, communications, engineering, psychology, and biology. Now, if I didn't name any of your top majors within those 5, don't worry. We can definitely help you, figure out what majors there are. And maybe you're going to come to City College, you're not going to know what you want to major in, and that's totally fine. Remember I said, you're going to learn a little bit about me throughout this presentation. When I first started at City College, I honestly didn't really know what I wanted to do. Actually changed majors about 3 times. Started as psychology, went to criminal justice, and then finally ended in education. Actually ended in early childhood education. But here I am working with college students or incoming college students. Sometimes I will say you are all not that different from preschoolers. But, it was with the guidance and the support that I got from support programs and from my academic counselors that really helped me find out what major was going to fit my needs, my academic needs, my career goals. So like I said, there's going to be that major out there. And if not, that's one of the cool things about community colleges. You get the opportunity to test the waters, kind of figure out what it is you want to do. But along with doing that, what's going to help you? It's these support programs. That's what's going to help you. So we have some of the most amazing support programs at Santa Barbara City College, starting with EOPS. Now, I am a product of many of these programs on this list, and I cannot speak, highly amongst all these programs, but they are amazing. EOPS is going to be one of our state-funded programs at City College. It stands for Extended Opportunities Programs and Services. You do need to be a full-time student, and because it is a state-funded program, students do need to qualify. There is a financial component that students do need to qualify, but they also need to be academically at a disadvantage, or fall into one of the other criterias, maybe come from a socioeconomic group, or there's different ways students can be eligible and qualify for EOPS. We never want you to make that own decision or assumption on your own. We definitely want you to get connected with those advisors so that they can do those intakes with you and see if you qualify for those services. But some of the services that you can expect to get from EOPS, they're going to help pay for your classes. You're going to get book grants, meal plans. Like, that's right, you get meal plans to eat on campus for free. If you're a commuting student, you get a gas card. Now, commuting student is pretty much students that are living outside of Santa Barbara, right? So they're maybe a little up north, down south, Ventura, you know, San Ynez, Lompoc, those areas. So they provide gas cards for students. They have their own computer lab, their own tutor lab, free printing. Folks, when you get to college and you got to start paying for printing, it is a real world issue. Like, it is hard. You know, you have to find, you know, where the printers are and all of that stuff. So all of those services you get through EOPS. They also help provide students with resources and just materials to get through the semester, Scantrons, you know, Blue Books, that's where you're going to take your tests on, all those things. We also have an amazing DSPS program. So if you are a student with an IEP or a 504, or you think you might have a learning disability, or maybe it's not necessarily a disability or an ability, right? But maybe you suffer from test anxiety, or you feel like there's maybe something, you know, where you could have used a little more support while you were in high school. I know I was definitely one of those students. So like I said, I am a product of many of these programs. I'm an a former EOPS student, but I'm also a former DSPS student. DSPS students, or DSPS stands for Disability Services and Programs for Students. And I honestly did not realize I had a learning disability until I got to City College. And it was my EOPS advisor who actually was the one who helped and supported me in getting tested and assessed. And once I went through that process, folks, I was so much more successful as a student, as an adult, because finally I was getting the support that I needed. So if maybe that's, you know, you fall into that category, like you feel like you could have always used a little more support, like, please do not hesitate, take advantage of all of these services, because guess what? You can participate in all of these student programs and more, and that's totally fine. There is no limit to how many student service programs you can apply or be eligible for. So we want you to take advantage. But I always want to highlight DSPS and EOPS because they are really amazing programs that make a difference for students. We also have our STEM Center. So this is going to be for students who are either science, technology, engineering, or math majors. Y'all are wizards on our campus. I wish I could have been a STEM major, but I definitely was not, you know, my brain does not work like that. But y'all are wizards, y'all are magic on our campus. And we have a space for you where you can go study, where you can go and get some snacks, get connected to internships, have tutoring, you know, get support with your textbooks and those real fancy calculators. That's right. They have services within our STEM Center, but it's a great place to get connected and build your STEM community, right? You want to be connected. You want to learn about what job opportunities, what internship opportunities are available to you. You can get all that in our STEM Center. You also have assigned counselors that are specific just for STEM students, along with a program advisor. They also have their own like graduation. You get a sash if you're an active STEM member for graduation, which is kind of cool, I think. Study abroad. So study abroad is, I think, one of the coolest things that our college has to offer our community and our students. Now, I know probably some of you are at home thinking like, okay, lady, I'd love to study abroad, but how am I going to financially pay for it? I get it, because trust me, I was in your seat, I was in your shoes many years ago. But guess what? You can make that dream, that goal, a possibility. Now, I am a first-gen student. I'm from a very low-income family. If you are near Ventura or Oxnard, take a visit to the Ventura College Swap Meet. My parents are there every weekend. So that's going to tell you like where I come from, right? I am not from a high income family. I'm, you know, first gen, low income family, you know, what gets free school lunches. And I remember when I was at City College, I really wanted to study abroad because I really wanted to go to Europe. Like, I thought going to Europe was going to be the coolest thing ever. And I figured, hey, I'm in college right now. Like, this is a great opportunity to study abroad. Like, how cool does this sound? And folks, it is not easy. But you can do it. We have amazing scholarships at City College available to our students. Some of these scholarships actually cover all of your costs and fees and requirements. That's huge. There's also additional financial aid resources. But really, like, if you really want to do it, you can do it. It definitely took a lot of work for me. I remember I was working 2 full jobs during that time of saving. I was recycling, I was doing yard sales. I mean, I literally did anything and everything I had to do to make that dream a possibility. And with the support from the staff at City College, it really helped me, like, really never give up and you really obtain that dream. So if studying abroad is something that you are ever interested in doing, please don't give up on that dream, on that goal. It is definitely something you can do. I always try to tell students my little story, because I know sometimes just saying, hey, study abroad it's not that easy. So trust me when I tell you, I get it. But definitely please explore our Study Abroad Center. Learn about it. We have full term programs, so you can go away for fall term, spring. They often do like winter terms, but summers, that's what I ended up doing, a summer program. And it was honestly one of the best experiences in my life. We also have an amazing health and wellness center. So as a City College student, you actually get access to 6 free sessions with our health and wellness counselors. They also provide nurses, nurse practitioners. You can go in there, maybe your little tummy, your little pancita is hurting, go in there and get some Tums, some Pepto for your stomach. Maybe you have a headache. Maybe you were up late last night, right? Studying, of course, right? You can go in there and get resources. So definitely take advantage of these things. And I will highlight, all of this is free. Okay, this is all free because we are a community college. We also have an honors program. So if you are currently an honors student at your high school and you want to continue taking honors courses, please take advantage of our honors program. It's amazing. You do need to apply to the program. So definitely want to highlight and, make sure you all know that you do have to apply for the honors program. You have to submit an application. It's all online. If you need the link, please send us a Q&A. At the end, you're going to have our contact info. You can always follow up with an email. You will submit an application online. You will also submit a writing sample along with your high school transcript. Now, those transcripts need to have grades that are above C's. So all of your courses, you would have needed to complete it with C's or better, and you need to have completed it with at least a 3.2 GPA. So definitely don't forget that requirement. And then our University Transfer Center. Now, I'm going to just briefly touch on this because we do have Marisol here. I don't want to take any of her shine away from her, but folks, we have an amazing University Transfer Center. You can connect with our transfer counselors, but guess what? You can also get the opportunity to connect with college representatives from maybe your dream school, whether it's a UC, a CSU, or a private school, out of state schools. We get reps that come in all the time. So don't pass up on these great opportunities. We also have our Basic Needs Center. So within our Basic Needs Center, you're actually going to find that in our Center for Equity and Social Justice space. Within that, you're going to find our Basic Needs Center. You're going to find our Emoja Center, our Dream Center, our food pantry is there. That's right. So let's say one day you're on campus, forget the wallet. Go get some snacks at the food pantry. Maybe you have a job interview. You can go to Love's Closet and get some donated clothing items for that interview. Maybe you need a nice little blazer, a tie, whatever it is. All of these resources are free. And lastly, our LRC. So this is going to be our Learning Resource Center. This space is open for you in the evenings to go in and study, maybe do some printing, use one of the study cubicles, do a study group with your friends. Maybe you're in music appreciation, you need to go watch a music video. You're going to do all of that in the LRC. It's a great space. It's also a great space to study on the weekends because it is open on the weekends. You can find those hours on our website. Now, our transfer programs, I'm going to let Marisol really cover this area, but we do have some amazing transfer programs. One of our most popular programs is going to be our TAG program, and TAG stands for Transfer Admission Guaranteed. And this is really what's going to help you reach those dream schools, right? It's going to help you get into that university, not as worried because you're going to be able to tag into those schools, be guaranteed admission. Academic counseling. Now, That transition from high school to college and working with counselors, folks, it is like night and day. So get ready because it is very different. Your academic counselors at Santa Barbara City College, and any college really in particular, they are not going to be there to register you for your classes, to remind you to go to class. You know, they're not going to be there to make sure you're showing up to class, but they're really there to help guide you, support you, help create your student education plan. So that's going to be like that roadmap. Oh, sorry about that. That's going to be your roadmap that you're going to use to really navigate and figure out what courses you're going to register for every semester. So you're going to do that with our counseling team. Certificate programs. We also offer over 50 certificate programs. So if earning and completing a certificate program is your goal, we can definitely help you meet that goal. Some of our top areas for our certificate programs is going to be are going to be health technologies, cosmetology, our esthetician program, marine diving, culinary arts, and our automotive program. Now, folks, a lot of these folks, once they've completed these programs, guess what? They're out there working in the field, typically debt-free. So this is also a great option for students. I do want to highlight that for many of these programs, you do need to submit supplemental applications. So pretty much what that means is, in addition to applying for City College, you are also going to be applying to these programs. Now, don't want you to worry. I don't want you to think it's like this stressful process, because it's not. It really isn't. You're going to contact us and we're going to get you directed or get you connected with those reps from those programs, with those CTE programs. And then it's going to be a smooth and easy process. Okay. But definitely not something to worry about right now by hearing the words like, you got to reapply to these programs. Okay. It's just a part of the process. So financial aid, as I had previously mentioned, right? Through our financial aid process. Oh, folks, and these QR codes, these are actually live right now. So please feel free to like scan them as we're going along so that you can save them, excuse me, on your phones. But these are all live. So please take advantage of that right now. Through our financial aid office, students will have the opportunity to apply for our internal scholarships, but also get connected to external scholarships. Now, if you're an incoming student, guess what? You can apply for our incoming student scholarships, right? So do not pass up on these opportunities. Scholarships deadlines are the exact same as FAFSA and DREAM Act. So they will always open typically about mid-January, and they will close March 2nd. They will always close March 2nd. So next year, please make sure you are applying for our scholarships. We also offer, because we are a community college, the California Promise Grant. You might see this, it's called the CCPG. This is super important for students to complete. If you already completed your FAFSA or your DREAM Act, guess what? You've already completed the CCPG. You do not need to worry about it. However, if you have not done any type of financial aid application, we definitely want to encourage you to complete those applications, because you could ultimately be passing up on free money. So a lot of the money that students get from FAFSA or DREAM Act, a lot of that is free money. It is not money you're having to pay back, okay? Because these are not loans you are taking out. Now, I am not a financial aid advisor, so I can only give you an overview and answer some general questions about financial aid. But if you have specific questions, maybe you've already applied to City College and you want to do a review of your financial aid packet, award, all that stuff, please let us know. We'll get you in contact with an advisor, and they can, sit down virtually or in person, because our campus is open, and go over your financial aid opportunities that are available to you, okay? International students. So if we have any international students in the audience, please scan that QR code. It's going to take you directly to our international student page. But I definitely want to highlight that you have some important dates. So for fall semester, new students need to have those processes, your application in by June 15th. Now, June 15th is like literally around the corner. But we do have an amazing team of folks that work in our international office that are supporting our students with their visas, with requirements, application, all of that, all of those documents. So please make sure you are scanning that QR code. If you're unable to, please go ahead, drop that, question, that concern into our Q&A so that one of our staff members can get you connected. But we have an amazing international department and team. We also get our campus ambassadors often come from our from our international department. They do a lot of really cool activities for international students. You have an orientation. So it's a pretty cool opportunity for those folks. So definitely we want to highlight those dates, or if you're a continuing student or a transfer student, or you know of someone who maybe wants to study at City College and they're an international student, please get them connected to us. Let them know of those deadlines, okay? So you don't want them to miss out on those opportunities. So how are you going to get to City College? Super exciting part, finally, right? Probably what you guys have been all waiting for. So your first step is going to be to apply. So you do need to submit an application. Now, maybe you applied to another community college somewhere else. Maybe you applied for Ventura College. Totally okay. You can apply to as many community colleges as you want, because guess what? Applying to a community college is free. That's right. It is free 99. You do not pay anything. So go ahead, submit that application. Step 2, you're going to activate and log into your Pipeline account. What's your Pipeline account? Your Pipeline account is your student portal. That's going to be your SBCC student portal. That's where you're going to do everything. That's where you're going to accept your financial aid. That's where you're going to register for classes. You also get a Gmail account. That's right. You get Google Suite access as an SBCC student. So you'll have access to your email. And then if you're a Promise student, so local, remember, not California Promise, but local Promise student, this is when you're going to opt into the Promise, when you log into your Pipeline account. Now, laws have changed in the last several years. And so we no longer require students complete their math or English placement exams anymore. But we still want to make sure that when you completed that application, that you entered the correct math and English levels. And so we want to make sure you check your placement, okay? Because mistakes happen all the time. The world is not perfect. And we just want to make sure that that you're being placed and assessed in the correct math and English levels that you're supposed to be in. So really step 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand, because as soon as you can log into your Pipeline account, you'll have access to checking this information. Step 4 is your online orientation. Now it is a virtual orientation, so you can do it from the comfort of your home, the park, a yacht, wherever it is you want to complete orientation. Can you tell I've been watching Below Deck? I'm obsessed with it. So orientation, you can complete that anywhere you are, okay? You're going to complete orientation. It's about a 45-minute video. As soon as you're done with orientation, you do have to take a quiz at the end. Now, these are all holds. These are steps that you got to complete. If you don't complete orientation, you're not going to be able to register for classes, okay? So in order for those holds to be removed, you got to complete them. Once you've completed orientation, we want to make sure you sign up for class planning. This is when you're going to meet with our counseling team to really review, what your academic goal is, what your career goal is. Maybe you don't know any of that. Maybe you don't know what you want to major in. Maybe you don't know what you want to do when you grow up. I'm still kind of trying to figure that out myself. And that's okay. But this is when you're going to have these conversations during class planning. You're also going to learn how our counseling teams are going to support you on our campus, really the difference between, transitioning from a high school counselor to a college counselor. So the presentation is a little long. I'm not going to lie, it is a little long, but it's okay because it's filled with tons of important information. At the very end of that, you've got to stay till the end. You're going to get a counselor. They're going to sign off on that you completed class planning, so that then you know what you're going to register for, right? So during class planning, you create your student education plan. That's your SEP. That's your MapQuest. That's your, whatever map system, your navigation system, to really navigating and registering for your class. And then step 6, finally, is registration. You're going to be able to register for your classes. Now, every student has different registration, just depending on, right? If you're an EOPS student, you'll get priority registration. DSPS students do get priority registration. So remember, if you have an IEP 504, if you want to apply for the program, local students have different registration dates. So you definitely want to check our website. You want to check your pipeline for your registration date, okay? Because you don't want to pass that date up. And then when should you be doing all this, right? Most importantly, when is all of this taking place? So our summer and fall applications are both currently open. Summer 1 actually just started, if you really think about it. So summer 1 just started. So it's a little too late to kind of apply for summer 1. However, if you want to apply for summer 2, this is a perfect time to apply and get ready and get all your steps complete. But if you want to take your summer off and enjoy the beach, enjoy travel, that's totally okay. You know, you get a little break from school. Our fall term will begin on August 29th. So that is definitely when we want, you know, we want to make sure that you get everything done by then. Now, we often get a question, and I'm sure many of you folks are thinking like, well, I'm still waiting to hear back from some of these schools I applied for. I'm still trying to figure out, you know, these financial aid packets. Totally get that, and we respect that. Guess what though? At Santa Barbara City College, you don't got to pay for your application, for placement, for meeting with any of us. So take this time while you're waiting for some of these, you know, acceptance letters to come in, or while you're waiting for your financial aid packets to come in, take the time and complete your steps to enrollment with City College, because you're not really giving us anything other than your time. But then guess what? At least you have some type of a safety net, and it's okay to have a safety net, right? You want to have those airbags. You want to have a plan B or a plan C or a plan D, whatever. Wherever we align in your process or in your steps, we are okay with that. But we want to make sure that you're at least actively working on completing these steps, because we don't want it to be the day before the semester, the first day of the semester, and you're stressed, you're struggling, you're frantically trying to get these classes added. We want to make sure that as soon as you can register for your courses, you're registering. Now, I'm sure some of you are thinking at home, well, what if I wait until the day, you know, the week before the semester starts, or the first week of the semester? Can I still apply? Yes, you can apply. You can still get everything done. However, it's probably going to be a little bit more of a stressful process, right, than it needs to be. So let's just work on getting these things done now, while you have that time. Okay. Housing. Now, if we have some folks that are out of the area, I know this is a really popular question. Unfortunately, we do not provide our own housing because we are a community college. We just don't have those resources. However, there is some private housing that is available. There are various local companies in Santa Barbara that do provide housing opportunities for students that really give students that dorm style living, right? You're gonna have roommates, you might have bunk beds, you might have your own room, there are apartments, you're gonna have roommates, and it really allows students to build, these real core relationships with different students from all over the country, all over the world. But unfortunately, on our campus, we do not provide housing for our students. But there are definitely resources. You can also find a lot of these housing resources, whether it's the dorm style living, or you can find, maybe locals that are renting a room, or a roommate who's renting an apartment and looking for another roommate to help, pay for rent. So you can find a lot of this information directly on our website. So please make sure you are visiting our website and just getting connected, especially for housing. Do not wait until the last minute. I could say, I cannot highlight that enough. Do not wait till the last minute to take care of this step. Athletics. So not sure if we have any athletes in the audience, maybe some Kobe's in there, some basketball players, volleyball, football. We do have an amazing athletics department. You do need to you do need to apply. You would need to complete a recruitment form, right? If you are interested in participating in any of our athletics. A big question is, are we a division school? So we are a community college. So we do not participate in divisions, but we are a community college that participates in the Western State Conference. And then for football, our football league is we are active members of our Southern California Football Association. So that's really the association where, the other community colleges in the state are going to be participating in. So definitely want to point that out, but we have an amazing athletic team. Once again, if you're a student athlete, you also benefit from priority registration. You also get to have your own academic counselor along with your own advisor. So if a lot of our student athletes are local and both out of the area. So sometimes you need someone to talk to. You need someone to support you and kind of guide you, right? Because not only are you juggling being a student, but now you're juggling being a student athlete, right? So pressure is on, definitely. But you have a team of people, your advisor, your counselor, and your coaches, right? And your team members that are going to really help you, guide you, support you throughout this time. But if you are interested in any of our athletic programs, please make sure you reach out to us so we can get you connected and we can get that recruitment form to you, get you connected with the coaches. It's pretty cool. And also I'm not sure if any of you have visited our campus, our beautiful campus, but we are located right across from the beach. So that football stadium, that track and field, guess what? It is literally steps away from the ocean. If you yawn, you will taste the salt in your mouth. We are that close to the ocean. It is absolutely beautiful. But definitely want to highlight that. Oh, also, before I forget, student athletes, you are required to be in a minimum of 12 units. So we don't want to forget that, right? Our student athletes are required to be in at least 12 units. You have to maintain a minimum of a 2.0 GPA, but you get your academic counselor and your advisor, they're going to help support you. This is also an active QR code. So if you're a student athlete or you want to participate in any of these teams, go ahead and scan that QR code, please. All right. And then lastly, we are going to have some Zoom sessions available. We actually have one this Friday from 1 to 4. This is a great opportunity for students to check in with us, get support. We're going to have representatives from our Office of Student Life. So if maybe you have some housing questions, we're going to have academic counselors there. We're going to have financial aid folks there. We're going to have team members from our enrollment services team. So if maybe you need help starting that application, getting into your pipeline, please join us. This is a great opportunity, folks. These sessions are designed just for you. They're open Zoom sessions, or maybe you're a parent, you have some questions, you have some concerns, you just need additional information. Folks, this is such a great opportunity. You can also reach out to us or visit our enrollment services page. Maybe this time doesn't work for you. Maybe you want to set something else up. Maybe you're requesting a one-on-one. Go ahead and reach out to us, get connected with us. But we do have some drop-ins coming up this Friday from 1 to 6, or 1 to 4, sorry, not 6, 1 to 4. And folks, you are not alone in this. Truly, you are not alone. I know I was not alone in my educational journey at Santa Barbara City College. I had a team of people, support programs that were there to guide me, support me. And you, just like me, you are not alone in this process. There are also no dumb questions. This is, I don't know how many times I've done presentations like this. So I've done this a whole lot. And even then, I still get questions. I'm not lying. I still have questions. So we expect you folks to have questions, and you are not alone in this process. Clearly, you can see how many representatives are here this evening representing enrollment services, transfer. Our student workers are here to help support you through this process, because it is an exciting process, but it's a new process. It is a scary one, but you are not alone. All right. And contact us. Please take a screenshot of this, snap it, Instagram it, whatever you need to do to not lose this contact information. Please do not lose it. This is how you're going to get a hold of us. Hablo español. So if you have questions and you are more comfortable in Spanish, or your parents have questions, please reach out to us. That is why we are here. We do not have jobs without you folks. So please, you can call us, you can visit us, you can email us, but reach out to us. Now, I know it's hard to say goodbye to me for now, but I'm going to pass on the presentation now to Marisol. She is going to take over, folks. It has been a pleasure. I'm sure I will see you shortly when it comes to Q&A. So get all those great questions ready. And Marisol, are you ready to take over now?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Mary Lou.
Of course.
Welcome, everybody, from the Academic Transfer Center at City College. I'm one of the counselors here at SBCC, and we're really glad that you are here. And I'm going to be sharing a presentation, and as we've said before, all this information will be given to you. And if you follow the steps to enrollment, you'll be able to meet with an academic counselor to answer additional questions. And we also will be participating in the additional Q&A as well. All right. So Mary Lou, can you give me sharing rights or Christy?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry about that.
Thank you. That's okay. So we're just working on
Sorry about
my
that, folks.
Okay. All right, so let's get started with this. And this is a quick overview of Transfer 101. As counselors, we're going to help you through this entire process. So again, you're not expected to know all this information and retain it all, but definitely I'm going to introduce you to it. And before I start, just to kind of give you a little bit about my background, I grew up in Ventura, California. I went to Ventura High School, and I wasn't sure about where I wanted to go to college. And I started taking dual enrollment classes through Ventura College. And some of you guys might be doing that currently as well. And I was taking college prep and AP courses. And, I decided I was accepted to UCLA. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. And I really was thinking of psychiatry. And so I interned at two mental institutions, which is Camarillo State Hospital, which is now CSU Channel Islands. And I also did it at UCLA's neuropsychiatric ward and decided, you know what, I really like the therapy part and helping people. I think I want to do counseling, and I don't need to go to med school to prescribe meds to my patients. I can always refer out to that. So I ended up getting my master's of science degree so I could work at the community college and the university systems. And I also got my people personnel services credentials so I could do K through 12 counseling. And I've been at City College for now 17 years. I've also worked in the Los Angeles Community College District at LA Pierce College, for anyone that is familiar with the Valley. And we might have some of you guys coming down to get cooled down a little bit at SBCC. So again, I've enjoyed my journey, and going to college is going to be one of the best investments in your time than just getting that minimum wage. So I'm here to kind of explain some of the main reasons why students come to City College, other than pursuing a certificate or an associate degree, is to transfer to the four-year institution. We know it's very competitive to get into the four-year institutions as freshmen, but that doesn't mean that those doors are closed for you. Coming to SBCC will allow you to complete your first 2 years at the university here and actually transfer to the four-year institution. And I'm going to kind of go over what those requirements are. So what is considered a transfer student? This is someone who has already graduated from high school or even gotten a GED and completed a full semester, usually of 12 units at a college or university. They're considered transfer students. So we do have students that decide to go away as a freshman to a university and they don't like the fit. Something, is not, the major that they're maybe pursuing. They change their mind, maybe the location, things change, financial situations. So sometimes they return back to the community college, as again, Mary Lou said, was very affordable. Some of you guys will be taking classes for summer school, possibly in summer 2, before you go off to the university. So this is not typically for all students that are just coming here for just one term. So students in California will stay at a California community college for approximately 2 to 3 years, depending on your transfer institution and some other things that I will go over. So basically, preparing to transfer, you can either look at the UC system. There's 10 UCs in California. UC San Francisco, however, just as a master's degree and a doctorate program. We have 23 CSUs, which is the California State University system. There are about approximately 78 private schools just in California alone. So that's also an option for you to transfer to, and out of state universities. And pretty much you can go anywhere. I have students that also study abroad and also transfer to out of state or out of the country universities. So we just have to look at the requirements that you need for your specific educational goal and school you want to go to. And we're going to help you map out the courses that you need to go to those institutions as counselors. So what do you do to prepare for transfer? And for those of you that are really visual, I wanted to kind of show you how your time at City College is spent. So for all the public universities within the UC and CSU system, they all require a minimum of 60 transferable units. So basically, if you're taking 15 units every fall and spring semester for 2 years that are all transferable to the university systems, you could finish your freshman and sophomore year of your bachelor's degree at SBCC. Usually those are also made up of the majority of them, about 35 to 40 of these units are made up of courses coming from general education. These include classes like English, mathematics, arts, humanities, social and behavioral sciences, physical and biological sciences, and foreign language. So students need to be well-rounded when you're pursuing a bachelor's degree. So in addition to studying your major, all students are working on general education. Then part of your time, usually around 20 to 25 of the remaining of your units towards your 60, will be spent on preparing for your major. So say you're going to do a biology major, you'll be spending time taking courses in your biology, your chemistry, your physics, and your math, in addition to maybe some electives. So depending on each student's goal, it'll depend on how many classes you have room for electives for. And as counselors, based on where you're wanting to transfer and your major, we're going to advise you properly on what courses are needed to meet those specific requirements for that institution. And again, for a lot of those STEM majors, we have the STEM program. We also have a MESA program, which give you additional support. And we also have counselors, including myself, that specialize in the STEM and allied health fields. So we're here to help you in your journey, as it should be, a little bit longer process, but definitely worth all the benefits of those majors. So what will you do while you're at Santa Barbara City College? Well, again, you're going to complete general education courses. You're also going to do, again, preparation for your major. And as students for transfer, you can apply as undecided. You must declare a major. And many of the universities want you to have previous courses preparing you for the last 2 years of your bachelor's degree. And so when you're transferring to the university, you actually transfer as a junior and just do 2 more years and you're done with your bachelor's degree. So how long is that going to take you at SBCC? Well, this is going to depend. Depending on how many units you're going to take per semester. So I did give you the example of students who want to finish in 2 years, usually will take around 15 units every fall and spring. Some students just want to take 12 units, which is still considered full-time. And you can take summer session 1 or summer session 2 to make up for those additional units should you want to be on a 2-year transfer frame. However, it's not a race. It's about doing really well in your classes. So students always ask, what's the quickest, fastest major so I can transfer and get to the university? I'm like, I want you to find something that you would enjoy to do. How is this career and this major going to help you to be successful in the future? And how is just getting C's going to get you into your dream institution? So again, going fast it's not a race. The only one you're racing against is yourself. And you can't repeat C's. So all of you coming into college have a fresh transcript to start. And so the grades that you earn, the more A's that you can get, the more options you're going to have to be admitted to some of those top schools like UCLA, Berkeley, UC San Diego, USC, many out of state and private schools that, maybe you weren't admitted as a freshman, but doesn't mean that that door is closed for transfer. So again, you're saving money at City College, taking the exact equivalence that you would at the university your first 2 years, and then you're going on to complete the rest of your degree at the four-year institution. So this is the big picture. So again, half of your bachelor's degree, you're gonna finish through Santa Barbara City College, completing the lower division courses that are required for all freshman and sophomore students doing a degree in the United States, okay? After transfer is when you're gonna be focused majority on your major only. So if you're like me, a psychology major, this is where I took the majority of my psychology classes. And I did take some additional electives like in sociology, Chicano studies, anthropology. I took a lot of other history classes because these are all things that make you a well-rounded person. And as a psychology major, I'm working with all kinds of people as a counselor. So I chose areas of study that interest me and that could also help me in my job field in the future. So again, 60 of those units are taken at City College. The other 60 units will be at the university for a total of 120 minimum required units for a bachelor's degree. There are some STEM majors that may go a little bit higher than that, but at least you're not starting another 4 years after you're finished with your 2 transferable 60 unit years here at City College. So what is required to transfer typically? Well, you must meet the minimum eligibility requirements. And then beyond that, you have to complete the selection criteria for certain majors. So just getting the minimum to get by is not going to get you into possibly your dream school. So this is where being competitive in your GPA is important. Completing all of your required general education classes. Some of the schools require it. Some of them say it's highly recommended. And we'll be able to tell you that in your individual counseling sessions because you'll be assigned a primary counselor as a Santa Barbara City College student. And also, certain schools are screening for certain courses to be completed in your major prior to transfer. So if you don't complete those courses at SBCC or at the community college you decide to attend, you can be denied admission for not doing those required core courses. So typically, what is required for the UCs, just in general, as transfer students? So again, 60 is the golden number. You have to be a junior to transfer to the UC system. They do not take you at 59.5. Even if you had a 4.0 and everything else you thought done, you need to be at 60 units. And as counselors, we're monitoring that as long as you're meeting with us every semester. They do admit transfer students as low as a 2.4 GPA for all California residents. So that's the lowest transfer GPA a UC can admit a student at. And part of their admission process is completing at least a 7-course pattern of general education classes. This includes 2 English courses, 1 college level math, and 4 courses at least from 2 of these other areas, arts and humanities, social and behavioral sciences, or physical and biological science. So again, for minimum eligibility, this can get you into a UC. However, this is not going to work for if you guys are striving for Berkeley, UCLA, or San Diego. Okay. They have some of the best, students applying, and they do a more of a holistic review. So again, that's minimum. So being competitive is going to be to your advantage. So this is completing IGETC, and IGETC, I'll explain in a moment what that is, but it's basically general education that you need for transfer. Completion of all your major preparation courses before you go into your junior year at the university. And also doing well in those courses. So some of the majors are screening for a certain GPA within the major. And so we want to make sure not just your overall GPA is good, but certain courses within your major. And again, around a 3.2 is competitive for, again, some of those top UCs that some of you guys are being turned away from, even with a 4.6 GPA out of high school. But again, the door is not closed. You can come to City College and we'll get you there. You just have to work hard for us. All right, for the CSUs, there's 23 Cal States in California. And basically their requirements are very similar to UC, but a little bit not as rigorous. So you do need 60, again, the golden number, transferable units. You need a minimum of at least a 2.0 GPA, okay? And you must complete the golden 4, which they require at least 2 English courses, 1 college level math, and then 1 additional public speaking or oral communications requirement. And so again, within those requirements, being competitive at CSU. So this includes, again, completing your general education. IGETC, the CSU also has a separate general education pattern, but I'm going to go over in a minute. Completion of your major preparation courses before you transfer. And again, getting a very competitive GPA within certain coursework within the major. And the CSUs offer about 27 degrees that have an associate degree with a transfer emphasis, which if you earn that degree, it gives you a 1% boost into your admission to the CSU system, but not necessarily the CSU of your choice. That's where your GPA and all the other factors come into play on being competitive. So that is a definite option for you guys, especially for like Cal Poly, San Diego State, San Francisco State. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Cal Poly Humboldt just is started. So we have 3 Cal Polys now. Definitely this is an option for many of you guys that will take advantage of that. Maybe again, you're applying to CSUs and you weren't admitted as freshmen, you still have this opportunity to go. And for any of you who are thinking of independent or private schools, again, there's many privates in California, out of state school, we have the 50 states here. So they do have different requirements for private schools. They have different deadlines. Some schools will say, you can come here after 1 semester at SBCC, or, my rival, the USC Trojans. They say after 30 units of community college coursework and you have your English and you have at least intermediate algebra done, you can come to USC. As a sophomore. So every private has their own specific requirements, but us counselors will help guide you in what those requirements are. Also, many of the private schools recognize the IGETC form. So if you're like, I'm looking at UC, I'm looking at CSU, I'm looking at private, how am I going to balance all of the required courses? As counselors, that's what we're the experts in our field to do. We're going to help you plan it out so that you're eligible for all the institutions that you would like to consider going to. And we do have the website. Again, this will be able to be shared with you in the resources. But it does have all the private schools that are accredited in the state of California through the AICCU.org website, as well as through College Source. So we definitely want to share those resources. Again, we do that with you in the counseling sessions, and also students, I try to teach them the tools so you can use that again at your own time as well. So this is going to start to explain what general education is. So kindergarten through 12th grade, a counselor gave you a schedule and said, these are the classes, these are the teachers, this is what you have to take. And you didn't really have much of a say. Well, in college, this is going to change a little bit. So we're going to help guide you in choosing the courses that you need using a general education pattern that is known as IGETC. So this is an abbreviation for Intersegmental General Education Transfer Curriculum. It's a big mouthful. All 116 California community colleges has their own IGETC form, okay, which has the approved list of courses that are accepted by all the UCs and all 23 CSUs. And again, many private and out-of-state colleges do accept it as well. And we have a list of the ones that do accept it. So when we're working with you individually as students, we will let you know should you need other requirements. Sometimes for private or religious schools, they'll have biblical courses that are not taught at a community college, and that's part of their general ed. But they'll use all the other courses that you took at SBCC to meet your bachelor degree general ed requirements. The CSU, even though they do accept IGETC, they also wanted to give students who were just like, I would never apply to a UC, I only want to go to a CSU, just to give them a little bit more options on choices to pick for general education. So it's just another option for students. But I have students change their mind all the time about where they want to go because of location, new friends they meet, majors they didn't know the universities don't have. And that's a big assumption. Students assume every school must have every possible major, and they don't. So IGETC is the most widely used form and general ed pattern used by most students attending a California community college who want to transfer. Typically, for STEM majors, if any of you guys are thinking about science, technology, engineering, mathematics, biological sciences, computer science, many of these high unit STEM majors don't have time to do all the general education classes. They really want you to spend time on focusing on your major preparation. So for computer science students, they'll be taking a lot of computer science classes. They'll have physics to take. They have quite a bit of math to do. And then you'll do, again, the minimum, either Golden 4 for the CSU or the 7 course pattern for the UC at minimum. Some students will complete IGETC and do their STEM major, and that's only to your advantage. You just might be here a little bit longer, but you're paying a lot less money because you're not required to take the rest of the general ed at the university. So STEM majors, you don't get out of taking GEs, you just finish it at the university after transfer. All right, so this is what we have when you come to campus. We go over these forms. So I know you guys can't read the little font that's in there, but the pink form is the famous form that's color-coded and known as IGETC. So again, this makes up, again, around 35 to 40 of your 60 units to transfer. The yellow one is the CSU General Ed. And people are like, well, you said the CSU is more flexible. Is it less classes? No, it's 39 units. So it's, again, they're still wanting you to complete general ed. They're just giving you a little bit more choices. And UC is a little bit more strict on the courses that they accept. So again, students finish the IGETC and they're like, I'm ready to transfer. And I'm like, but what about your major? And getting to 60 units, they're like, oh yeah, I need to work on that too. So the sooner you find out what you're interested in and what you want to major in, that allows us to plan more efficiently as we're working with you to plan your schedule to include general education. And for any of you that know what you're going to major in or want to kind of explore, we have a website called assist.org, which has been around for quite a long time. And so what it allows us to use as counselors, and it's a public website that you can go on as well, is to look up your classes that you're needed for your major to transfer to all the UCs and all the 23 Cal States. And it tells you what the equivalent courses are at our school at SBCC that you need to take before transferring to that institution. So I'll have students maybe pick their top 3 schools and we'll compare what the requirements are for that major. And sometimes we have to strategize on, do all the courses have to be done? What about if they don't have that exact major? Are you willing to do a related area of study? So again, this is a very good tool. It also will allow you to find out what schools have every major that you're looking for. So it'll narrow down the list for you. So again, in the academic year, under institution, you would put in SBCC and it brings up Santa Barbara City College. And then on the bottom drop down, it'll say agreements with other institutions. And we just put UCSB just as an example. And so when you click view agreements, what happens is it brings up a list on the left that will give you all of UCSB's majors. And for this example, I just chose economics as their degree. So a lot of students say, I want to study business. And I tell them, and then I go, where do you want to transfer? And they're like, UCSB. I tell them, they don't have business. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, they don't have business. They have economics, or they have economics and accounting as their type of related business degree. Is that okay? And students, some are like, sure, because you can do that and then you can major in that and still be great in business. It's the way the different systems are set up. So when you select the bubble, like I did here, you'll say view agreement. What comes up is the agreement that we've sat down with UCSB and said, what courses are going to be required for our students to take that are equivalent to yours? And they're also going to say a bunch of information in this articulation agreement that also is going to explain to you how they're going to admit you. Are there certain classes that need to be completed? And within this major, they are selective at UCSB. So because Econ 101, which is microeconomics, Econ 102, and calculus, they are making sure that at Santa Barbara City, in these courses here on the right-hand side, that you are earning a 275 in those 3 courses. So in Econ 101, 102, and the calculus. We offer 2 options of calculus. So another question I ask students, where else are you applying again? And they'll say UCLA is on my track. So I'll bring up UCLA's articulation agreement. And I said, for their business econ or econ, they want micro and macroeconomics, but they want the calculus with analytic geometry, 150 and 160. They don't take 130. And so the student at that point and us, we discuss, well, is the schools more important or the major, or, what is going to be best for you? And obviously we want to keep all doors open. So we strategize together. Well, of course, if UCLA is in your thing, then we're going to put 150, 160 and take your micro and your macroeconomics and make sure that you are doing well in those courses as they are screening for those in many majors. So C's are passing. You cannot repeat a C. So that drops your GPA pretty fast. So you guys are all starting fresh. So make sure that you are working with us to balance your schedule out. And as Transfer Academy counselors, we want to help you get that guarantee admission to the universities. So I want to talk a little bit about the tag and how that works, because I know that's really popular. People hear and don't know necessarily what those requirements are. But basically, as part of the Transfer Academy, we help you with all the transfer information, help you with the planning of your courses. We give you updates and new information as we continually attend workshops and meetings across the state to make sure that we have the most up-to-date information on all the incoming school year's requirements. We are located on the first floor of the Student Services Building. So if you ever want to come to City College, you can definitely stop by. We are offering in person and on campus and online and phone. So we try to be accessible to all students who have a goal of transfer. So the transfer admission guarantee is available not just within the UC and the CSU system, but we do have it with other universities outside of the public systems. So on our website, we do have a list of those institutions and what the requirements are to meet the tag eligibility for each of those campuses. It's not one set GPA or a certain requirement. It depends on the university and what we've agreed on. So again, transfer admission guarantee, that's what TAG stands for. So again, that's meeting the minimum GPA in all transferable courses. So everything that you would take at SBCC that is UC or CSU transferable is factored in. So again, we're also looking for your core required classes in English and math. And maybe that's not your guys' funnest subjects, but those are things that you need to be proficient at and are part of the admission criteria for any usually university for transfer. Also, there's a certain amount of units that you need to complete prior to completing your TAG application, which is 30 units for the UC system. So you'll do one whole year, or at least maybe 2 12-unit semesters, fall, spring, take summer session, another 6 units to get the 30. So, you know, every student is different, but it's always September 1st to the 30th for every UC that offers the tag. So for the UC system, 6 campuses offer the tag, the transfer admission guarantee. UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UC San Diego do not participate in tag for any of the 116 California community colleges. Why? Because they have a substantial amount of eligible applicants who are very smart, and they do a holistic review of your essays as part of their admission criteria. So when I was at UCLA, not everyone in my class was the brightest color in the coloring box, but they definitely had a lot to bring with them. And so extracurricular activities, volunteering, going above and beyond, working while you're going to school, first generation to go to college, multiple factors go into their admission. And so they don't want to just go straight off GPA, even though GPA is one of the biggest factors they do look at for those 3 institutions. You're able to still apply, and we have students transferring all the time to those schools. They just don't guarantee it unless you do the hard work and they read your essays and they feel that you're a perfect fit for that campus. So for the 6 other UC campuses, so students are like, well, if I'm applying to those top 3 schools, can I do a tag? Yes, you can apply to one of the UCs and tag. It's free to tag, so there's no obligation to go there. It saves you a spot at a UC. So for UC Davis, as long as your cumulative GPA is a 3.2, you're guaranteed. For UC Irvine, they're at a 3.4. UC Merced, a 2.8. Same thing with UC Riverside, a 2.8. UC Santa Cruz, a 3.0. And for UC Santa Barbara, it's a 3.4. So the 3.4s guarantee you to Irvine and Santa Barbara. That's the highest tag the UC is asking for. For UC Santa Barbara, the College of Engineering, for any of you STEM fields, I just want to highlight this. For the College of Engineering, the College of Creative Studies, the tag is not available at UCSB for those majors. Those majors are admitting around a 3.8. So they were no longer able to offer the tag in the College of Engineering for UCSB as of about, I want to say 4 years now. So students still transfer there all the time. It's just doing well in your engineering, in the College of Engineering courses. That's going to get you in. So again, the better that you do, the more options that you have. But if you can just at least maintain A's and B's, you're going to go to a UC. It's guaranteed. And the priority for UC and the CSUs in California is to matriculate, meaning to funnel in community college students into their junior year of the university. So 95% of their junior applicants are coming from California community colleges. The other 5% are coming from intercampus transfers or other students applying, oh, I went to a CSU, but I really want to go to UC and I'm going to try to apply there. Or you went out of state and you're trying to come from the out-of-state university and come in. They're going to make it really hard for you. That's why it's so many students decide to go to the community college route, not just because of the affordability, but because of the opportunity to tag. Okay, so this is not available to students unless they go to a California community college. So the CSUs, they have a tag as well. And again, they call it their ADTs, an associate degree for transfer. So if you're applying to the CSUs, you can earn an associate degree that has a transfer emphasis. And again, it admits you to the CSU system. It gives you a 1% boost, but doesn't guarantee you to the CSU necessarily of your choice. The GPA, the major preparation, general ed, all of those other factors are weighed into that. At this time, we have the most ADTs available. There's 27 that were made by the CSU system, and we have all of them that you could get. And they're in alphabetical order. Some of you may see some of your majors in there. For those of you that don't see your major on there, don't to worry. They just don't have the ADT for that. So no student has an advantage over you in that way. You just will do your general education, your major courses, and do well. And basically, you're applying to the CSUs. Again, so this is optional. It's not required. It is just another path to kind of help you feel like you have a spot at the CSU. So these are some important tips and reminders we want to share with you. You know, as counselors, we're not pulling you out of your college classes. We're not knocking on your door. We're not sending call slips out and saying, hey, what's going on? How come you haven't come in? You're going to be able to make electronic appointments and view our weekly schedule because you'll be assigned a primary counselor after you have gone through the steps of enrollment. And you'll be able to meet with us at least, we would say, once a semester to update and modify your student education plan. Again, this is your roadmap that Mary Lou had talked about, saying what classes do you need to take in order to re-enroll, whether it be a certificate, an associate degree, to transfer, or maybe all the way through all of them. So many students also ask, is an associate degree required to transfer? No, It's not required to transfer. So the UCs and the CSUs, all their freshmen and sophomore students don't get an associate degree after 2 years. So it'd be illegal for them to require transfer students to get one. So as a Santa Barbara City College student with strategic planning with a counselor, you can actually earn an associate degree on the way, and you can already put it on your resume that you're a college grad and that you're at the university finishing your last 2 years to already start getting paid more, higher wages for current jobs that you're in. So it's definitely beneficial. Also, we're going to tell you what classes are going to meet requirements, what classes will transfer to UC, what transfers to CSU, what transfers to both. And for private and out of state, we're going to have to look at those requirements. And you're not expected to do this on your own. This is what we're getting paid to do. So you need to take advantage of our services, like I said, because we're here to support you. Okay. And we also, develop strategies with students to preserve their GPA. So some students who are maybe like art, music, film, theater, communications, different history degrees. I tell them, they're like, I'm not really good in science. I don't know how I'm going to do. I don't want to mess up my perfect GPA. What is maybe an option for me? Well, we have pass, no pass available. And this is basically filling out a form that you can take a class, earn the units, but not have your grade change your GPA in any way. So as long as you earned an A, B, or a C, you get a pass and you get to use it for units. It doesn't affect your GPA. So in certain situations, we do that as a strategy to help maintain that perfect GPA that you want in order to achieve your eventual goal. So again, you don't want to settle for C's. That's just getting by at a 2.0. You want to try to do the best that you can and work hard while you're here. Okay. And again, many of you guys are just starting on your transcript for college. So whatever happened in high school, again, that was high school, you're moving forward. And so I've had students that didn't even graduate high school, earn their bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and have a doctorate degree. And, they're like, all I needed to have was someone to help me do this and support me, and tutors and all these additional services. And I would have done a lot better, but I didn't have that. And City College is here to help you. And these are additional tools and a bunch of resources that you could take advantage of and kind of explore. And again, we're going to help you all along your journey. We just want to make sure that you know that we're here, and all these offices, we collaborate together in order to make you a successful student. And I'm going to be here, to answer questions and anything else over the multiple sessions that we're offering. And I know there might have been questions in the chat. So I'm going to start sharing. And again, I just want to, say you guys are all, making a really good choice by at least coming and spending time to hear this great information. And, we hope to see you at City College starting in the summer and in the fall if you're starting. And again, we're here as other decisions are coming in. But again, you don't have to settle. You can come to City College and transfer to your dream school, because we are one of the #1 community colleges in the nation. So thank you for listening. And I'll turn it over to you, Mary Lou.
Marisol, I'm going to add. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Mary
no,
Lou.
it's okay. Liz, I will have you take over. We're going to do some
Oh,
Q&A.
Liz.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
these are some of the questions that came in during your presentation. Do students need honors or be part of our honors program to transfer to a UC? And if so, is there a minimum GPA?
So for honors, there is a supplemental application on our website that you must submit to the honors program. You must maintain a certain GPA. There's eligibility requirements coming out of high school. So if you don't meet that criteria after your first semester at SBCC, you can apply and join the honors program. The benefits of joining the honors program is for UCLA and UC Irvine. If you're denied your first choice major for transfer, they will look at your alternate choice major for consideration. It still will not guarantee you admission to either of those. So you must maintain a B average to continue in honors. So I tell students, if the work is too hard, it's not giving you, you can't go over the 4.0 in college. Okay. So some students think by taking honors, it's going to help them get over that 4.0 or move their GPA. That's not the case in college. So there's different honor certificates you will do. It's usually around 6 courses, about 18 units minimum, depending on which honor certificate we have. And you must complete the entire certificate. So doing 5 of the 6 classes does nothing for you. It's like all or nothing kind of a thing. So it's up to the student. If I tell them you're getting B's and C's when if you took the regular film studies class, non-honors, you would have got an A, how is that helping you? So again, you know, check on the website on the requirements. But those are usually the biggest questions. Like, I thought honors is going to put the 4.0 like it did in high school, and it doesn't. And just regular honors classes in high school, it doesn't matter. They're not going to look at high school records at all. For transfer students, they're just going to ask, did you graduate high school? And if so, when? If you don't graduate high school, you can still transfer. You can do a GED. You just need to be 18 years old to go to college. So did that answer the question?
I think that
with
was
the
fantastic.
detail? Okay.
Well, and it goes, it really shows you how important it is to take advantage, like you were saying, of the services that we provide and ask those questions and reach out and take advantage of everything. So that's great. Okay. So is it possible, we had a few people ask this question, is it possible to transfer after being at SBCC for only 1 year?
To the UC and CSU, you would need 60 units. So that means you must have either AP units and where you took the exam and earned a 3, 4, or 5 in the AP class and took the test, and you're earning college units. Some of you also may have done dual enrollment at your local community college or through SBCC. So if you were accumulating units while you were taking high school classes, you would need 60 units in that year. So, I mean, I have seen students do dual enrollment plus have AP scores together and then apply and do just 1 year at City College, 15 units in the fall and 15 in the spring. That second year, you can't do extra summer. You have to have the 60 by the end of that spring of that first year. So it is possible, but it's typically kind of rare.
Great.
But you can transfer after 1 year to like private schools, out of state schools, because they have their own separate requirements. Like USC, for example, the Trojans, 30 units at a community college with English done and at least intermediate algebra. And so you could go as a sophomore. It's $70,000 a year. They're like, sure, come on over.
Okay, great. So for UC transfers, I think this is more of a clarification question. So for UC transfers, you have to be a junior to transfer.
Correct. You can't go as a sophomore. So 60 puts you at junior standing.
Okay, great.
So like if you guys think of it like your first 30 units is freshman, and then between 30 and 60 is sophomore. That kind
That's
of
a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Can you be a part-time student and still be eligible to transfer / utilize the TAG program?
Yes, absolutely. So we have students who have to work full-time, have families, participate in other extracurricular activities that want to still do well, but because they have other things going on in their life, that they can only maybe take 2 classes a semester. So you can go as slow as you want to transfer. What the university are about are your grades. So if it takes you 4 years because you are only taking 2 classes per semester, but you're getting good grades, that's going to be more beneficial to you than trying to work 40 hours a week, taking 12 units. Remember, when you're in 12 units, to give you guys an idea, you're spending 12 hours in class, 24 hours a week doing homework outside of class, doing your assignments, your essays, your discussion sections, reading the textbook, all of that. And then you know how tired you are if you're working already. So when you're getting C's and B's, that's lowering your opportunities for transfer. So the universities don't care how slow you go. It's about the grades in the end. So that's why I tell students, like, why are you racing with this person? The only one you should be focusing on is you and doing good. So students, when they overwhelm themselves and say, oh, I had 6 classes in high school, I want to take 18 units. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You were in school 8 to 3, Monday through Friday. You're doing 2 days a week. You're expected to spend a lot of time outside of school to do all this extra work. And that's what we kind of go through when you guys go through your last step to class planning. We're telling you about how to balance your schedule out because it's kind of flip-flopped from what you're used to K through 12. You're going to college a little less because you're spending more time studying outside of class. Teachers, focus on the most important content because they have a certain amount of time to teach, but you're still expected to learn. I had about 10 to 15 books to read at UCLA, and all my professors wrote their textbooks. So they knew every single thing that's in that book. And on a quarter system, we're on a semester system at City College. So you have 16 weeks. At UC, it's 10 weeks. So in 2.5 months, you're done. So, time management is really important. And I think is one of the biggest factors that contribute to students not doing as well. And so again, if you have to take it slower and that works better for you, it's going to benefit you in the long run.
Great. So this kind of goes along the same route, but it's a little bit different of a question. For TAG, can you be a part-time student and still transfer in 2 years?
Usually not, because if you have to have 30 units at the time of September 1 to apply for TAG every year. So if you only took like 2 classes, which most of our classes are 3 units of credit. So if you were to take 6 units, 2 classes in the fall, another 2 classes, 6 units in the spring, making 12, and maybe you took 2 summer classes, which is another 6, that's only 18 units. So you wouldn't have TAG eligibility by September 1 because they want 30 units done. Like you have to be halfway done, and then continuing on after that 30 units, that other 30 has to finish by that following year. And if you're still going part-time, you won't make it. So some students who are going to go slower, right? They'll TAG when they're maybe at 45 units, right? because then their fall and spring of that last year that they tag, they're only taking those 2 classes, they'll reach the 60 by the end of the spring. So just because you're part-time, it doesn't mean that you can't tag. It's just you have to wait longer to meet that minimum 30 units. And when are you going to finish the other 30 in that same year? So we would just do it later in your time. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Marisol, do you know, somebody wanted to know what percentage of SBCC students transfer to private schools? Do you know that?
I wouldn't know that off the top of my head, just because there's 78 privates in California alone. But Angela Warren, the Transfer Center interim director, we could get you that information. And if you're looking at a specific school, we could reach out to those specific ones. Because it does vary depending on students funneling through. We have students coming from all over the US plus international students. So it could vary a little bit year to year.
And if you reach out to the Reach Transfer at sbcc.edu email, we can get that information for you from Angela.
Yes.
So far, this is the last question I have for you. Something else might come in the meantime, but this is the last one so far. Can you get a health certificate at the same time you're doing your other classes?
So health certificate, meaning like CNA, LVN?
I think, a certificate, probably.
Just a general one? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think
you
CNA
can
would be a great
earn,
example.
we have department awards, skills competency awards, and then we have the certificate programs, which only require courses in the major. So sometimes students, for example, I'll do the example of the CNA. So you get a certificate of achievement of CNA, and you can go work as a CNA after completing the 6-unit course. Same thing if you're looking at, I'll use LVN because that's also another certificate in the health field. So you can do our licensed vocational nursing. You do all the LVN classes and you earn your certificate. And then you can get to work. So, and then some students want to continue their degree. So some students will get a certificate, maybe in early childhood education, and then they want to go on to the 4-year university to become a teacher and teach maybe kindergarten through 5th grade. So they'll be a liberal studies major and get a multiple subject credential. So, I mean, sometimes certain certificates do open the doors to other opportunities, and you can still work at both. And the certificates and the transfer don't have to be the same major. So sometimes some people have multiple interests. So, that's kind of the fun thing about the community college is that you get to explore, and sometimes taking certain classes earn you awards on the way to transferring into your big goal. So we try to do that as much as we can. Like, hey, if you take this class, it'll work for your AA and transfer. And so students are like, awesome. So I just had a student who earned 6 degrees and certificates because she's a chemical engineering major and she's going to UCLA. She got into Berkeley and she also got into UCSB. So she was like, oh my gosh, almost 4 years here doing all my classes. And she's a single mom and she's only 22. And she's like, I have 6 degrees already and I just have to do 2 more. And 2 more years at the university, and she's going to be making bank. And so she's already putting that on her resume and people are already calling her. So, there's lots of awards and accomplishments. You never know what's going to happen at the 4-year. So I always tell students, like, why not get your AA on the way or any certificates that you qualify for? It's definitely one of the first few questions they ask you on your resume, other than your name and your address when you're applying for a job. What's your education? So most of you guys will be high school grads. But once you start saying you went to college, that's where your guys are going to be jumping up higher in positions. Your pay is going to differ. And we have a lot of students coming back to SBCC who've been in the workforce saying they're letting me go because I don't have a college diploma. And everybody that's getting hired has at least a bachelor's degree and is getting like $20 more an hour than me. So, you know, it's making a huge difference. Last time I checked, the Bureau of Labor and Statistics said if you can earn a bachelor's degree, at minimum, you'll make $1 million more in your lifetime than a high school grad at the lowest paying bachelor's degree. That's worth it for me for going to school for just a couple more years. I don't know about you guys, especially if you want to stay in California.
Isn't that the truth? There is one more question that came in. If I'm interested in transferring to an out-of-state school, is it possible to see what credits will be required?
Oh yeah, like students go to, like we took students on a big overnight trip to Arizona State University, and then we went to U of A. We made a big trip out of it, and when they stayed in the dorms and all of that. And so we have transfer agreements with out-of-state institutions as well. So I had students going to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, students on the East Coast. We also have a lot of transfer agreements with historically Black institutions and universities. So again, we also work with colleges that maybe haven't had an SBC student attend there, but we work with the admissions counselors to verify the courses that are going to be accepted for transfer in planning purposes and sometimes within the major. And so that we can confer, so that we can plan to the best of our ability what you should take in residence with us. And sometimes universities will say, focus more on this part and then let them do this at our school because it's kind of very unique to our campus. So we'll help you definitely with that.
Fantastic. Marisol, can you let people know how they can meet with a tag counselor? How that what they do to do that?
Yeah. So if you go to our SBCC website and you just type in University Transfer Academy, our information will come up about how to join our program. It's an online application. Also, our information is on there. And we also have our Transfer Academy email, which is transferacademy@gmail.com. And also, you know, we're also serving students via Zoom, phone, and we do have some drop-in hours for quick questions. But all as new students, you can go through class planning and you're automatically going to meet with a counselor during that time who's going to help set up your maybe summer session 2 or fall plan for you and have it approved, and you'll be able to register when you do the steps to enrollment. So all of you will have the opportunity to meet with a counselor and have a plan before the fall semester begins. We have online class planning sessions going on almost every day of the week except the weekends at different times. So whatever works for you. Some of you that are from our local high schools, we are doing it in coordination with your college counselor. So if you want to reach out to them, they'll know the dates that we're doing it at your local high school if you're in Santa Barbara County as well.
Okay, great. Marisol, thank you so much. I think if we can pass it over to Mary Lou, I can do some Q&A with her.
Yeah, all ready for you. Thank you, Marisol. Greatly appreciate the great questions you got, answers.
Mary Lou, will this webinar be available later?
Great question. Yes, it will be available later. You can visit our REACH webpage to find the recording along with all of the Q&A. It's always good to just go through and, you know, rewatch them, obtain all the information. But yes, we will have it up on our website by the end of next week.
Great. Will classes be in person during the fall semester?
Ooh, another good question. So we're anticipating that 60% of our courses will be in person on campus. Right now, we are providing some courses on campus for our summer terms, and we were for spring. I would say it's always recommended that students check our website and check the class schedule, because that's really, if you're registering for a class that's anticipated to be in person, it's most likely going to be in person. So when you're registering, definitely, if you want those in-person opportunities, definitely keep an eye out for those in-person sessions. The LEC is going to stand for the lecture on there. You know, if it's remote or virtual, it'll just say online for those courses.
Great. And just so everybody knows, Christy did put the website into the chat where you will find the webinar once it's posted.
Yeah.
So if you want to cut and paste that or keep that, that would be great.
Great reminder. Thank you. Yes, please visit our REACH webpage. You can contact us. You can email us there. You're also going to find our Zoom links. So for our drop-ins this coming Friday, great opportunity, visit our REACH webpage, because that's where you're going to get everything and how you can get in contact with many of today's team members.
And Marisol just put in the University Transfer Academy website that she was talking about as well for the Transfer Academy.
Yeah, and it has all the information on how to sign up, how we help you, everything. So, and all of our hours and our email.
That's great. Okay, Mary Lou, when do students register for their classes, or when can they register?
Yeah, so every student is going to have, based on your student type, that's when you get your registration date assigned, right? So every student is going to have a different and unique registration date just based on their student status, whether you're a student athlete, if you're a transfer student, if you're a local student. However, most of our students that are probably joining us today for this webinar, they're going to be first-time college students and maybe out-of-area students. So if you're a first-time college student, you're out of area, your registration date is going to be June 6th. So definitely mark your calendars, because 8 a.m. June 6th that's when you're going to be able to register. But like I said, if you're a student athlete or if you're a DSPS student, then those registration dates change. You can always find your specific date on your Pipeline account.
Mary Lou, can you go over the steps to enrollment quickly, just so people know that there are mandatory steps besides applying to the college before they can actually register?
Yes, of course. So we do have a couple of steps to enrollment that are required. A lot of these steps are holds on students' accounts. So that means that you cannot register for courses if you have not cleared or completed that hold or that step. So your first step is obviously the very first one. If you're going to want to apply to the college, submit an application. It is free to apply. So we want to highlight that it is free to apply to community colleges. So step one is apply. Step two is you're going to check your placement, or I'm sorry, step two is Pipeline. Sorry. Step two is logging into your Pipeline account. Pipeline is SBCC student portal. So that's where you're going to check your registration date, check your financial aid award, make those counseling appointments with, your academic counselor, with your transfer counselor. But that's where you're going to do all of that in your Pipeline account. Step three is check your placement. So because students are not taking math or English placement exams, we want to make sure that when you completed that application, right, your very first step, that you used your high school transcript and you entered your correct math and English levels. So step three is checking that information transferred over correctly and it is being processed so that you're going to be able to register in the right courses. Step four is you're going to complete our online orientation. It's about a 45-minute video accompanied with a quiz. You do need to complete that for that to be removed. Okay. And yes, we do have capability of checking where in the process you are with orientation and if you successfully completed. Okay, so there's no way around that. Step five is going to be to schedule your class planning session and meet with an academic counselor. That's when you're going to really create your student education plan, which is your SEP, kind of like your roadmap, your navigation to knowing what courses you're going to register for that are going to meet those academic and career goals. And your final step is going to be step 6, and that's going to be class registration. So if you are a first time to college student, you're out of area, you've completed everything, come June 6th at 8 a.m., you're going to be able to register for your courses. But we want to highlight all of those things need to be completed before you can register, okay? We cannot remove those holds. Those steps have not been completed.
Perfect, thank you. So I kind of put, there were a lot of questions about meeting with an academic counselor and classes and class planning. So I kind of put this together. First of all, how do students meet with an academic counselor, pick out their classes, and basically class planning, what it is for them?
Liz, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again? You broke
Sorry.
up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. So we've had a lot of questions about how students meet. How do I meet with an academic counselor? How do I figure out what classes I need to register for? And so basically we know it's class planning, right? So if you can just talk about a little bit about what class planning is and where they register for that or sign up for that.
Yeah, so I can definitely touch base on it, but if Marisol wants to add more, because that is her area of expertise, I will definitely give her the floor. But students are going to sign up for class planning in their student portal. So in your pipeline account, class planning is a semi-short, long presentation by our counseling teams that really go over the roles of academic counselors, what IGETC means, what transfer, all of those things. But it's a step 2 enrollment. It's a step for first year students to complete before they can register for classes. So it is not something that you have to do every semester. It is not something you have to do every year regarding class planning. However, as Marisol mentioned, you do want to continue those relationships and meet with counselors. I'm going to give the floor to her so she can just, talk a little more and add to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you guys are going through the steps to enrollment, you guys are all wondering, like, what do I sign up for? That's what class planning covers. So we give about it's a 2-hour window where 30 minutes is a presentation on an overview of all of the counseling services, your requirements as a student, getting familiar with the different certificate programs, associate degrees, transfer requirements, and overall how we're going to build your schedule. And it's in a group online Zoom session, and we have them all throughout the week that you can sign up online. And so we usually have, maybe about 30 students, and we do breakout rooms. And individually, we meet with you one-on-one to create we're making plans for summer and for fall for you so that you know what classes you are to sign up for. And once you go through the presentation, have your plan approved by a counselor, meaning these are the classes that you're going to take. We don't sign you up. We just tell you which ones you should sign up for. And then on your registration date, you'll go into your pipeline and register for the days and times you want to go to school, the teachers you want to take them with. Do you want to take them online? Do you want to take them in person? That is totally your choice. So we help you with that. We usually ask you, what is your goal? That's the biggest question. Like, what are you working towards while you're coming to City College? And that helps us decide how many classes you should take per semester. What classes are you eligible for English and mathematics? We'll tell you, maybe an introductory course into your field of study. If you guys are undecided, we usually will plug in general ed, as all students need that as part of an associate degree or to transfer. And some of you guys are just coming here for vocational or job training. And so you're just here to do a certificate program. So, we'll set up the classes basically that you need, and then you'll go ahead and sign up for them. Then after the first 2 weeks of the semester that you sign up for, Pipeline will assign you a primary counselor who you'll meet with for the rest of your 2 years or for the next 10 years, however long you want to come to City College. You can come here forever as you want. And we will help guide you in taking the classes that you need to reach whatever goal you're working towards. So just the first session's a group, but you're individually broken up with us for another like 15 to 20 minutes where no one else is in the room, in the Zoom room. And we're talking about your schedule on your own and any questions that you had from the presentation. So I hope that
Thank you,
clears up
Marisol.
a little bit. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mary Lou, do I need to submit my high school transcripts to Santa Barbara City College?
Sorry, was that a question for me or for Marisol?
Either one.
I can answer. Yes, it does help us because if any of you are earning an associate degree, some of you who completed intermediate algebra, we can use that in lieu of taking math for your AA, which is a big one. The other one is some of your courses that you did take in high school, like foreign language. If any of you are planning on transferring to the UC system, we can use 2 years of that foreign language to meet a general ed requirement for that. It also can clear prerequisite classes. Prerequisite classes are classes that you must take before taking a more advanced class. So for example, maybe you took, like I said, a physics class or a chemistry class. We can use the high school transcript if you earned a C or better in that year of that subject to let you take a more advanced course at City College. So there's multiple benefits to sending the high school record to us. And you just go to your high school administration office and request an official transcript to be sent to SBC directly. If your high school doesn't do them electronically, if they give you a sealed envelope, do not open it because they don't double envelope them. And once you break the seal, it's unofficial and you'll have to get another one. So if you hand deliver it, you'll take it to admissions and records and they'll scan it and we'll be able to view it and you can see it as many times as you want. So students are always like, well, what did it look like? So that's available to you as well.
Great. Mary Lou, if I live outside Santa Barbara County, can I be eligible for the promise?
So that question actually comes up a lot, and kind of figuring out and students figuring out their eligibility, because obviously the promise is a huge perk for our local students, right? But it is a promise requirement for our students to have graduated from any of our either public, private, or being homeschooled. If you are within Carpinteria to Gaviota. So if you're a homeschooled student, obviously you could live in Carpinteria, you can live in Goleta, San Roque, right? But you have to fall within those areas. You could also visit our Promise webpage for eligibility. However, if you did not complete your GED or your high school diploma within our district, then no, you would not be eligible. Now, something that sometimes students don't realize, or even parents or guardians, is parents and guardians, this is for you. So I'm giving y'all some good information. Parents and guardians or adult learners, if you decide you wanted to go back and earn your GED because maybe that wasn't something that was available to you at the time for you, you could come back to our school, School of Extended Learning. So to any one of our other campuses, complete our GED program. And guess what? That would make you Promise eligible. Okay, so definitely something that we want to inform our community is that students often will maybe, or adult learners may not have had the opportunity to complete their GED or their high school diploma. They can pick up those pieces again through our School of Extended Learning, complete their GED. And as long as they do that through our college district, then those individuals will be Promise eligible. But if you unfortunately live in Ventura or outside of the area and went to a different school, then no, you would not be eligible for the Promise. So I hope that helps.
Great.
I just want to add to that too. In case you are, like I live in Ventura, I worked at Ventura and Oxnard College as well. They have a Promise program in the Ventura Community College District. So they do pick up your first 2 years of the education as Santa Barbara County. So does the Los Angeles Community College District, from anyone that's in the Valley. So most of the community colleges have a Promise program to serve their local high school graduates.
Okay, Mary Lou, are there going to be any, and if there is, what are they in regards to vaccination requirements for fall?
Great question. So I'm going to just touch on this general because every student's needs, right, are going to be different. So I don't want to get too much into it. You can also find our most up-to-date information on our website, requirements, all of those things. So I would definitely encourage you that if you have questions, concerns, doubts about our current vaccine requirements, please visit our website and connect with one of our COVID response coordinators on campus, because we do have folks that are designated just for this area. But currently the college does have a vaccine requirement for fall and spring, for summer and fall terms. So these summer sessions, summer 1 and 2, and for fall 2022, we do have a vaccine requirement that is consistent with our COVID-19 mitigation plan. If you need more information, if you have concerns, please visit our website and contact and follow up with one of our COVID response coordinators.
And Mary Lou, I went ahead and put that web page or the landing page from our website into the chat. I also forgot to say that I put the class planning landing page and the instructions for how to register for or sign up for class planning in the chat.
Perfect.
And I was just going to add on the COVID, there are medical and religious exemption forms available to students who meet the criteria under those, but they do have to do weekly tests and still wear a mask. So, but again, the information, all the up-to-date information is there. So we do understand not everybody can be vaccinated due to those other reasons. So that wouldn't stop you from coming to City College, because we do have fully online classes and fully online AAs. So
yes, thank you, Marisol. Thank you for adding that. Do we have any more questions, Liz?
We do. I have 2 more.
Oh,
so you talked about athletics, but we've gotten a lot of questions about cheer team.
Yes, we are going to be the new cheer team on Netflix. Yes, we do have a cheer team. If you want to help us, get a spot onto Netflix show. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, we do have a cheer team. If you wanted more information, I'm going to ask one of my colleagues to drop Ellen O'Connor's information in the chat. However, folks, I know we're giving y'all a lot of links, a lot of information, a lot of contact. If it becomes overwhelming, if you forget, if you don't get any of these contacts, please just contact our Reach transfer email and we will get you connected. We will give you all of the links. Just send us an email, tell us exactly what you need, and we'll get you connected. But yes, we do have a cheer team. You can contact Ellen O'Connor. She is the Associate Athletic Director. I'm gonna ask one of my colleagues. I'm not sure if somebody's already dropped that information, but if
I
someone
didn't,
dropped that, perfect. Thank you so much. Yes, let's get on that Netflix special. Any other questions, Liz? I think you said you had a few.
So
right?
I've got, this is the last one. I've gotten a lot of questions about housing. And so I've really been recommending people to come to our Zoom drop-in. So if you could just touch on that.
Yes, folks, we cannot highlight enough. These drop-ins are a great opportunity for students, parents, guardians, other educators to check in and meet with college representatives. We're gonna have folks from enrollment services, academic counseling, financial aid, and somebody from our student life. Office of Student Life helps connect students with housing opportunities, both that are within those private dorms, with the student housing, apartments, all of that. They could definitely get you connected. So joining us at those drop-in sessions, we have one coming up this Friday. Those are great opportunities of getting a lot of those questions and resources. But guess what? If those don't work for you, please send us an email, fill out the interest form on our Reach page, and you can request a one-on-one. Okay, so if you're someone that just does better with a one-on-one, you want to Zoom, you want a phone call, whatever works for you, all you have to do is do your part, reach out to us, contact us, and we'll get you connected and we'll get you the support you need. But joining us this Friday would be a great opportunity of getting connected with all of these folks, including somebody from housing.
Great, Mary Lou. So this would be the time, if anybody has any last questions that they would like answered, now would be the time to utilize the Q&A box and ask that. So we'll
Yes.
just wait for a minute, see if anybody has any final questions before we end the session.
And as we've all said, there are no dumb questions. If you don't ask us questions, we do not have jobs. Keep us busy, keep us employed. And we are here for you. So you are not alone in this process. You definitely, as you can see, you all have a team of individuals. Oh, we do have our outreach assistants. These are your current college students, SBCC students. They're actually out of area students. They transferred here. So folks, if you have questions for our college reps and you want them to hop on and answer any of your questions live from the student perspective, because when I was a student, it was a long time ago. So if you want to hear from them, please let us know. Hop them in, hop a question in there and ask one of our, either Michaela or Armand. I know they would love to turn on their cameras and their mics and answer any questions you guys might have. So as Liz said, this is a great opportunity to ask questions, especially ask questions to our students. They'll give you the 411 on what it's like at CC.
No new questions have come in, so I'm going to give the final warning
All right.
for Q&A. I don't see anything else coming in, Mary Lou.
All right, folks. Well, if we have no more questions, as Liz said, she kind of gave you guys all that final warning. It has been a pleasure. Oh, look at that. We did get one. I could definitely answer that live. I just saw it come in. The question is last question, when is or when was the deadline for FAFSA? So FAFSA and DREAM Act kind of have a hard deadline, but a soft deadline. And I'm going to explain, okay? So FAFSA and DREAM Act deadline are always March 2nd, whether you're coming to us, whether you're transferring, I don't know, 2, 3 years, 4 years from now, the March 2nd deadline has never changed. With that being said, though, it is never too late to apply for financial aid. So there are traditionally 2 forms of financial aid students can get by completing FAFSA and DREAM Act. The March 2nd deadline really applies to California aid. So like the Cal Grant, okay, for additional aid. So Cal Grant is really that March 2nd deadline. However, if you still submit your FAFSA today, if you submit it the first week of the semester, which I don't recommend you do, let's get that done now. But if you do it now, from now until the semester begins, or even the first few weeks of the semester, you could still be potentially eligible for Pell Grant. Now, Pell Grant, that's federal aid, right? So in California, students are eligible or can be eligible for federal and Cal Grant, or federal aid and state aid. State aid meaning Cal Grant, federal meaning Pell Grant, okay? So that's why I'm saying it kind of has like a hard deadline of March 2nd, because if you want that additional California aid, that additional money, but if you still need to complete it, I would still encourage you to complete it versus not complete it and hopefully get some type of aid. So it's never too late. It is never too late. Hopefully that helped.
Yes, that's great. There was a little more of an in-depth question, basically asking, how much I would get, or, how do I find that information out? And basically it's, you need to apply before the college knows what you're eligible for or what you'll be awarded.
Exactly. And that's not every student, just like with your registration date, your financial aid award is going to be different and vary from student to student. So not one student will have the exact same award as their best friend maybe, or as their classmates. That's going to really depend on lots of different factors: family income, how many family members are in the family, how many family members are going to college potentially. So there's lots of different things that can vary. However, please do not make the decision or the assumption yourself, or let your parent make that assumption that you are not financially eligible, that it's not worth it. please let the experts take care of that. Let the folks that are doing the FAFSA, the federal government, like let them all take care of that and figuring out if you're eligible, because we never want students to miss out on some amazing financial opportunities based on thinking that or making assumptions, right? So work on those applications. I know our financial aid department is offering in-person and virtual support and workshops and assisting students with completing those financial aid applications. So there's free money out there. So just take the time and work on those applications.
And Christy just put in the link into the chat for in regards to financial aid Zoom sessions that they were doing. You'll be able to get information about the workshops they're doing to help people apply for financial aid, as well as information about getting questions answered.
Perfect. And it looks like we're still getting some questions in the chat. I see that Christy's answering some of these, but folks, it is never too late to apply for FAFSA. Kind of have a confession to make, because I actually had no idea what FAFSA was when I first started community college. Like I had no idea what it was. I too went to Ventura High School, go Cougars. So I graduated from Ventura High School. I ended up going to Santa Barbara City College, primarily because I wanted something different. I didn't want to see all the same people at Ventura College that I just graduated with, which I loved high school. I was that girl that loved high school, participated in everything, but I just wanted to mix things up. I wanted to connect and meet new people, and Santa Barbara City College really did give that to me. Santa Barbara City College, and I'm not just saying that because I worked there and I went to school there, but we really are an amazing and unique campus, because we really do provide students with those opportunities to feel like they got to go away to a big school without really going away and paying that money of going to a big school, if that really makes sense. We're not so much a commuter campus for students. And what I mean by not a commuter campus is, doesn't mean that students don't commute, because I commuted. What I mean is students just don't go drive to Santa Barbara, take classes, and then leave. Like students actually are engaged within the Santa Barbara community, with the campus community, right? They're participating in clubs, they're participating in field trips. As Marisol said, they do field trips through Transfer Academy, right? Through our transfer center, through our university transfer center. Like they are doing field trips. We have our STEM center. We have our CESJ, right? So our Center for Equity and Social Justice. So there is always, when I say always, there is literally always something going on, whether it's on campus or a virtual event. So our campus is unique in where we really do provide an opportunity for students that they feel like they've gone away to a bigger school, but we're a community college. So we are a special college in that sense. So it really is a unique place. So if you are looking for, something that is affordable, something that's accessible for you, I definitely feel like Santa Barbara City College meets those needs. Do we have any more questions? I know
we don't, Mary Lou.
Perfect. Okay. Well, folks, it has been an absolute pleasure to have all of you join us today to connect with you. We hope you took away a little bit of information. We hoped that you got your questions answered, but if you didn't, please do not hesitate. Reach out to us. I made sure to leave up this contact page because we definitely want you to connect with us. If you want to connect with Marisol and meet with her, have an appointment, reach out to us. We will get you connected with Marisol. If you wanted to learn more about TAG or clubs on campus, or, you want to do the new, Be Cheer season 2-3 on our campus, let us know. We will get you connected. And welcome, because your journey really started today. So welcome to the Vaquero family. Thanks, folks.